afternoon, at least in the United States and Arizona. Call. We've had about 5 recordings earlier today, and just so happy to celebrate this day together. I want to welcome Len Carmine. He's the main author, main heart and soul behind this whole project. It was his kind of brainchild. Agne is from it with Quantum Healing from Sweden, and Carrie B is from Upper State New York. So we're from all over the place. I'm from Arizona, just like Anna is. So welcome to our beautiful call, and I just think our next guest is here. There we go. Hi, Craig.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank
Happy you
you.
made it. Yay.
The Uber guy dropped me off like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, you were like, let me get there.
I was at the iNetrepreneur Network presenting today.
Very cool. Yeah, we've had Robert on today too, so it's very cool. Glad you made it. Yahoo! So we're celebrating, the launch of a magnificent book, and Lynn has done a fantastic job bringing a very interesting array of authors. So, Agni, let's start with you. Your chapter is called Self-Alignment Coaching. And I noticed that the name of your business is Quantum Healing. What made you decide on this chapter and to participate in this 1% More book launch?
Yeah, so the name of my business is Self-Alignment Coaching, but Quantum Healing is the main modality that I'm using, and I want to be known by that name more than anything for people to resonate with. That's why I put this name here.
Craig, can you mute?
I thought I muted it. Can you hear me now?
Press M on your keyboard. There you go.
Right. Yeah, so I'm glad to have this opportunity and present my part of the story and be part of this group book. My journey started a while back as I was trying to find my purpose, find myself, and I really struggled for many, many years. Along the way, discovered different modalities, different ways to shift the mindset, but nothing did such a big shift than quantum healing. And I was in my chapter, I present more of that mechanical processes, what that is happening in our mind, body, and soul connection. But really, I want to, tell people that there is so much more that you can experience and explore yourself in such deeper levels that we normally are aware of. There are so many possibilities out there, and I just want to, shine that light and say that there is, big opportunities for everybody. I want to inspire people to look within, to find their answers within, and as myself, as normally, I was searching for answers outside of myself, wanting to be successful in different areas, until I really realized that everything begins within ourselves. When we discover who we really are, and when we are able to manage our system, I call it human operating system, connecting your mind, body, and soul. So, there are endless possibilities for you if you really look and want the solutions for yourself.
It's fascinating. I have an author who is writing a book. The name of her book is Quantum Human, and she works for NASA, and she builds rocket ships, and she feels that spirituality and science just go hand in hand, and she's just so adamant that we need to wake up to what's really happening, and really be aware as a human being. So thank you for what you do in the world. It's each of us have that special role that is so vital and so important that that we stand up and be those extraordinary human beings that Lynn so has brought together. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carrie, your chapter is choosing happiness. What a beautiful topic, because we do have a choice, and sometimes we can get mired in the stuff that's happening and not be feeling so happy. So tell us about this chapter, with the work you do in the world, and why you chose to join the 1% More.
Boy, why I decided to choose 1% more is because that is it is what I have written all over, sticky notes all over my house, is just be 1% better today, Carrie. Do 1% better today. Take one more step forward. Be your best. And the reason that I chose to talk about choosing happiness is because I entered into a very, very hard year in 2021. Didn't really realize it. Thankful to this day that I didn't know the tsunami that was coming my way. Each step that I encountered was a challenge on top of a challenge on top of a challenge, going from being diagnosed with colon cancer in December, the end of December of 2020, which was the same cancer that had taken my brother back in 2010. He was 48 years old when we lost him to colon cancer. And being diagnosed with that cancer was it was like incomprehensible to me. But I remember standing in my kitchen talking to the doctor and saying, it's impossible. I take care of myself. I drink water and I work out every day and I eat healthy and I get my sleep. And there is no way you've got the wrong test results. And the reality was I did have this cancer. And I went from having that cancer to right after the new year, having a right hemicolectomy, coming home from the hospital with COVID, and then being diagnosed with Lynch syndrome, which is a genetic disorder, which not only means my body is a cancer magnet, I also am missing the gene that can fight cancer off once I do have it. And going from that into getting my skin cancer check and finding out that I had skin cancer, and we were still in the month of January. And it just, the year kept building on that. My mom lived with us. She was 85. I had her tested for Lynch syndrome. She tested positive on May 2nd. She was in for a colonoscopy on May 3rd, where they diagnosed metastatic end-stage cancer. She died in my arms 19 days later. And I thought my year couldn't get worse. And it just kept coming, getting COVID again, and then breaking my arm, and then having to have another cancer surgery for ovarian cancer. And this all happened in 12 months and 10 days. And choosing happiness became my motto for the year. And it became how I became 1% more. Because if I didn't choose to be happy, and if I didn't choose to bring joy into my life, I was not going to get up in the morning. I was going to lay in bed all day. And I realized that I was not the only person who would face situations like this. I wasn't the first, and I wouldn't be the last. And if I could help people learn how to choose happiness, even when times were horrible around us, then I was fulfilling the purpose that I feel I am on this earth to do. My dad always taught us to choose happiness. When we were at my brother's funeral, and we were all sad and grieving, and yet my dad would teach us how to bring the laughter in so that we could keep going. That laughter was that important. So that's why I chose that topic, because I was walking through the mire and I needed to be able to share that message in order to assimilate that message into my own life.
Wow, what a touching story, and whew, that's a lot to put on one's plate in one short year.
Yeah.
You know, and yet here you are today, and you've made some very important decisions to thrive, to do well in spite of all odds. And what a tribute to you, and what an example you are shining.
Thank you.
You know, and how is your health today?
One day at a time. I mean, I woke up today and it's a gift. I never know when cancer will rear its ugly head again, carrying this genetic disorder, but I have today. And as long as I have today, I'm going to keep going.
Right. None of us know if we have tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. For you, Craig, your title of your chapter is The Epiphany. And I know you have quite a story to talk about with that.
Yeah, really, Carrie V, it's really hard to follow that up, honestly. But in similar circumstances, I actually was living a regular life, going to work in the morning, coming home at night, go to work in the morning, etc. And I started having headaches. And these headaches, I probably wouldn't have paid any attention except my wife is OCD about where things go. And I kept running out of aspirin, so I bought the huge bottle from Costco and set one of them on my nightstand and one was on my office at home. And my wife says, "What is that?" And I said, "Well, I keep having these headaches. I keep running out of aspirin." And she made me go see the doctor. So the doctor scheduled me for a CAT scan. And the CAT scan happened, and I went back, and I was like frustrated. So got back to my office. The phone's ringing. This was before cell phones really were prevalent. My phone's ringing on my desk. I answer it. It's my doctor. "Hey, Craig, I want you to get an MRI." "Okay, I'll schedule that." He goes, "No, right now." He says, "I'm there. People are waiting." So I went down and I did the MRI, and I went back to my office. I walk in, my phone's ringing again. It's David, Dr. Hatfield. And he goes, "Look," he says, "you have a mass on your brain that we have to take care of immediately." And so I met with the surgeon, and I was in surgery that night. So the epiphany is what happened as I was being loaded onto the operating table, right? I actually had to make a choice because I'm kind of a big guy, 250 pounds or so. And the surgical team says, "Hey, you have to move yourself from the gurney to the operating table." And so at that particular moment, the world changed for me because I realized that I was in fact mortal. And I also vowed to take advantage of every moment that I had moving forward to make things better for my family and the descendants of my parents, right? So that's actually how I started my company with that particular thought in mind. And we're what 8 or 9 years in now, and we span the globe. We've got almost 500 clients globally, and we're continuing to grow. My team is getting bigger, and it's all because I live every moment to get as much as I possibly can out of that moment. And that's what the chapter is about, is that epiphany, the change of the world.
Thank you for sharing, Craig. And what is your business?
We manage Google profiles for small businesses. And we used to do a lot more. We used to build websites. We used to manage Facebook, etc., do ads. We don't anymore. All we do is Google profiles because it really is leads that you get on a Google profile are 4 times more likely to close than any other lead source. We can document that time after time. And getting leads from Google, guess what? It's free. Unless, of course, you're paying me to do it.
Well, I know your program has really helped me. It's really, I can see when people are paying attention. I've received letters even from people that want me to publish their books for them just because they're able to. It's a Google business page, has your address on it, and they're able to stop and connect with us. So
the crazy thing is all of us in this room, okay? Out of all of us in this room, 80%, so there'll be 4 of us, have used a Google profile in the last 72 hours to make a buying decision. Okay, we have. That's the rate. And if you said bank near me or gas station near me or something along those lines, you were using a Google profile. So so that's just it's just the way to go. And we actually give free access to a website to train people how to do it. Because I feel it's that important for everyone to have. Surely not everyone can afford to hire me. I get that, and I'm cool with it. But everybody that I'm networking with, they need to know how to use their Google profiles because it's simply that powerful, right? They just have to do it. So I'm an advocate for even the freebies.
Well, I'm happy you're still with us today. and that you chose to make some wise decisions as far as what you do with your health and how you show up in the world. That's so very important. And Carrie, to understand that each day that you show up in the world and show up in the ways that you do, that's remarkable, because having health issues is it's easy to fall into the slumps and say, I just don't feel like it, I
Yes,
just can't. And choosing happiness is, if we can choose happiness, we can get through just about anything.
exactly.
We really can. Agne, quantum healing. What is quantum healing?
Quantum healing is energy healing modality more than anything. It is based on NLP structure, but it helps you to connect at a deeper level and be more conscious of what's happening internally uh, in connection to your mind and body and soul. Like every body signal, and as we are talking about cancer, that is expression of some unresolved past issues. Um, Body is signaling about some problems, right? So understanding those signals and knowing how to address those issues and heal, like everybody has the power to heal ourselves, right? But when we allow things to scale up to that level, then it gets complicated. But my mission is basically to help people have the tools that they can address their internal situations in every moment. It's very simple and yet very profound experiences that can happen through these simple processes.
Thank you for sharing that. It's kind of fascinating to me, because there are many people that are now kind of using the healing modalities. There's many and varied, and it's fascinating to see what we can. And a lot of it has to do with the power of the way we think. Our
Definitely.
power of our minds is so important. So, this book has been remarkable in the sense of just talking about the subject of just that little bit more that we can do daily to make a difference. And so in this book, I don't know if all of us have had a chance to read every single chapter. I certainly have, because that's what I do. But through the combination of remarkable, extraordinary human beings that Lynn has brought together for this book, what would be your key um, words that you would share with somebody as to why you would want them to pick up the book? And we'll ask you first, Carrie.
Boy, the key. Why pick up this book? When you think about that concept of 1% more, and I think that I know that everybody can be 1% better every day if they choose to be. And a lot of times when I'm working with someone, or if I'm speaking with a group of people, the question I get is, but how do we do it? Yeah, we want it, but how do we do it? And this book is it's a instruction manual on how to do that. How life is short. We get to choose wisely or unwisely, and this book helps us to choose wisely. So get the book and be 1% better every day. It's a whole 365 degrees in a year. We can do this.
Mhm.
It's your instruction manual. So get the book. Get the book. Read the book.
Thank you. And for you, Craig.
Well, my take on it is, I haven't read anything from the book yet, except my chapter, because I wanted to make sure that the spelling was right. But seriously, I would highly recommend the book because of Len. All right, the Extraordinary Being Movement is something. If you haven't been on Len's podcast with him or had a one-on-one with him, he is quite the engaging person with an incredible story, standalone, right? And so I think he was smart in putting this book together and getting the group of us that are involved in it as involved as we've been, and utilizing us to launch to the crowd, right? So I would recommend the book basically because Len is involved in it, and that's a fact.
He's done a remarkable job too. And one of my main advices to authors is before you take that big leap and write a book, just your own book by yourself, be a part of a compilation series, because that will help you to get your feet wet. That will really give you an idea. Is this something you want to do? Because there's a lot of work that goes into really being successful with it. And I have been so incredibly impressed by the people that Lynn has chosen for this book, and the purpose and how purposeful he has been in making those selections. Been remarkable.
Right.
So in the speaking to somebody that you're saying, man, I'm in this book and I'm so excited about being part of this, what would you tell them as to why they should pick up a copy themselves?
To see how people capitalize on their vulnerabilities, right? How the pivots in one's life change the direction and change their ultimate destiny.
Very good. Yeah. And how about for you, Agne?
Yeah, so I think, if we talk about extraordinary beings, everybody has that potential. But until you discover how to reach that, you will stay stuck, probably, right? So this is like Carrie mentioned, a manual from different angle, from different perspectives, as many authors there are. I'm sure you will find your understanding or your way to get to that level of being extraordinary. Because everybody's unique, right? But we struggle often to find our path. By hearing other people's stories, I think is so valuable, and people wanting to inspire, wanting to change others. Altogether, we provide a lot of value in this book. So definitely that's the book to choose.
Very cool. And yes, every story is so uniquely different. And I'm just even contemplating the interviews we've had so far today. And each one is so uniquely, incredibly different from the other. And yet we're all saying the same thing. And that's the value of this. We're all connecting. We're all saying, yes, I'm going to make a difference in this world. And as we do that, it's a ripple effect out to the world, because as we step out of fear and step out of sorrow and all the other things that go along with the lower vibrations of our world, and step up in a bigger way, it makes a difference. And even if only one person read this book and said, oh, I got a lot out of that and you changed my life, isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth it? But I really feel that there's going to be many one peoples that actually pick up this book. So in your mind, Carrie, what does the word extraordinary be? What does it mean to be an extraordinary human being?
So extraordinary is above the ordinary. And ordinary to me means average. And the definition of average is the highest degree of poor. So in my world, I don't want to be any degree of poor, even if it's the highest degree. So I want to be extra and above. And so when people tell me, and people will tell me, you're so extra, I just take that as a compliment, because it means that I'm reaching for more. And when you see people that are reaching for more, they become to me, they become my inspiration. If we are all reaching to be more, to be extra, to be extraordinary, above, beyond, greater than, how much better is the world going to be if we all would strive to be that extraordinary? And when I was in high school, our school motto was the pursuit of excellence. And I just never forgot that. To be extraordinary to me means that we are pursuing excellence, and every day striving to be the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be, despite what is going on around us. To be extraordinary to me means to be pursuing excellence.
Awesome. How about for you, Craig?
So, I don't look at myself as being extraordinary, right? But I do look at the extraordinary virtues of others, and they inspire me. So, so what does it mean to me to be extraordinary? Uh, Somebody that does the right thing all the time, in spite of the repercussions or the blowback or whatever. Uh, that's extraordinary. The people that give of themselves to community without reservation, I find that to be extraordinary and worthy of praise. The people that go above and beyond just being regular people, the organizations that you and I are involved in, Becky, the people are extraordinary. They wouldn't
Truly.
be in those organizations if they weren't,
Right.
right? So I don't know that I could put a marker on what extraordinary is, but extraordinary to me, a person is extraordinary to me when they stir something, when they stir my imagination, strike a chord, if you will.
Right. They inspire you.
Question.
No, that's beautiful. And really, truly, people, extraordinary is just those that are really just doing out of the ordinary beautiful things, and wake us up to really stop and think and analyze our own lives. What are we doing? What am I doing to make a difference?
Striking a chord.
Yep, that's correct. And for you, Agne?
Yeah, so I see extraordinary as a person who sees the higher potential in themselves and in others. Like they don't focus on the current situation, but they see beyond that and what's possible, and they're striving for that. And definitely they will achieve so much more than otherwise, right? So I think extraordinary is not only as each of us can be, but as we can see others in that and create that space for others to grow too.
Beautiful. That's right. So, Lynn, I'm going to call you on the carpet a little bit here. You
course.
chose. I've done it a few times today, so he's getting ready. He's used to this. So you chose many. There's actually 24 authors in the book, and you're one of those. But you've chosen a really amazing array of human beings to be in this book. And for each one of these, why did you choose? I know you didn't even know Agne, but you chose her for this book. Why did you choose these three individuals to be part of this book?
Well, Agne, I have followed her on social media. We've conversed a little bit in various other groups and that we've been part of. And I've just been watching and following what she's been doing. And I was just really moved by it. I love the work she's doing for her clients and the type of person she is, and also the type of training she has. It was very unique and different. And I wanted to have her in that book to share her gifts to the world because she is extraordinary in that way. And I wanted to really spotlight that and give her an opportunity, as well as all the other authors and myself, to grow our businesses, to get our word out there, to share the difference that we can make in the world. I said on one of the last videos, I don't want us to be the best kept secret. I mean, we're all extraordinary in what we do, and we need to get it out there and share it with everybody. So that's why I asked her, and she was kind enough to be a part of this. Carrie is just fantastic. Carrie had multiple books out already. She, knows her stuff. She's empowering women. She's empowering men. She just brings that ray of sunshine to whatever she does. I've seen a number of things of her works, so it's always a pleasure to have her here with us. So, Carrie, thank you very much. And Craig is a Google master. I mean, people need to know the power that they can use on leveraging Google, and a lot of people don't know that. And this is a book about business and life, and business and life go hand in hand. I mean, even if you don't have a business, you should be running your life as a business in some way, But yes, Craig has this great unique ability, and I've had him on the podcast before. He was a wealth of information. I knew him showing up and being a part of this, he would have done, and he has done, another great job in doing that. So I wanted to make people aware of Craig as well. So that's why I had these extraordinary people come aboard.
Awesome. Totally awesome. But, you know, as somebody that works with many, many, many authors, just on a daily basis, it occurred to me not long ago, because my business is Spotlight Publishing, but the light in Spotlight means loving influencers, growing heartfelt transformation. And that's what each one of you are doing. You know, because I am meeting the most remarkable human beings through the work that I do, and each one, their whole heart, their whole soul, their whole everything wants to make a difference, and that's what's so remarkable about each one of you. And thank you for stepping up and really sharing your heart, letting your light shine, because in what we do, the work we do, no matter what our work is, it's important to let our light shine, not hide it under a bushel basket because times are hard, but to rise above and be there to shine something that is goodness for each one. So appreciate each one of you being here. And I know for you, Agne, you're like, I'd be fast asleep in bed already because it's already it's 10:30 where you are. So, you know, for each one of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for participating, doing the work that you're doing. Awesome.
Thank you.
Any closing thoughts for anybody?
I'm just gonna say real quick, thank you all, everybody here on this video. Thank you guys for being here, being a part of this with me. The viewers and listeners, thank you for leaving reviews and purchasing the book. We all greatly appreciate it. And who knows what might be in store? There might be a book 2 eventually down the road here. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and for those, go ahead, Craig.
This is book number 3 for me in the collaboration series. So maybe when I have a little more experience, I'll hit Becky up and we'll be writing a book.
That's awesome. It's pretty fun. And so and thank you for each one of you for being here. But for those that have been listening or will be listening, if you know somebody that could just use that extra little boost, that needs that hand up, share the book with them. Just purchase it and give it to them. If you've read the book and have not yet left a review, leave a review, because that's part of the lifeblood of people determining whether they're going to actually pick this book. There's lots of books being published right now. So there's so much that we can do to make a difference. And the biggest thing is always be you. And thank you for this interview today.